All right, welcome back here, Division D, D1, and D2. Indeed.
Nice.
Very nice day here. Simon Dagenet, GM, is in place of Peasy, who is not here. Oh, yeah, it's going to start the clock as well. Whatever. What?
Got you.
Got him.
About 10 seconds in. And Eagle. So it's a 4-man crew as opposed to a 5-man crew here at Calling the Audible in the shipping container of the St. Leonard Armpits that we are in.
St. Leonard cockpit.
This is what it is. All right, gentlemen, let's dive into the Div D1, Div D2. We'll go with Div D1 first. So what caught your attention? One game that caught my attention from Sunday was Supply Command.
Yeah, over Diablos.
Yeah, 25-20 over the much maligned Diablos, who look like a bunch of cement figures out there.
All Pease needed was one pass.
And he did it.
And he did it.
I think it's fitting that we can give him this praise and talk about him the week that he's not here, because he would be insufferable if he were here.
I feel dirty by saying he was good. Like, his team won Division E. Now he's talking about him in a good manner in Division D. Wait for Division C, man.
Well, let's call it for what it is.
It's gonna be bad.
It's a Justin Blanchard-led team.
Okay.
Well, yes, for sure, but
Can you blame them?
yeah.
No, but,
Well, they
but if he's irrelevant,
No, but they also have Joanne on the roster. He just hasn't played yet because he's
Joanne
not back
Edgell.
from injury.
yes.
So, for now, it's the Justin Blanchard show, but that's about to take a turn for the
Is that this week?
it's supposed to be.
Okay.
What's the storyline here, gentlemen, for Justin Blanchard? Is he not going to be there this week? Is that what it is?
No, he has.
No,
he
what
has
Simon was
he has
saying
backup
is
coming
that
in.
is that Joanne is also on this team in addition to Justin, and to
So
keep in mind that this
won't-
team won't be so one-faceted.
there you go.
So what's the problem with the Diablos then?
They're
Francois Martin?
predictable.
But-
They have the
Yeah.
same playbook.
You know where it's going. They
You play them
predicted-
3 times, you know every play.
They knew where the ball was going late in the game, and they took that one play away, and François Martin was not able to go somewhere else with the ball. So they had Georges Livoyer on 10 out. Everyone knew where the ball was going. They took that play away, and instead of making the read and going somewhere else, knowing the safeties were shooting that, they just tried it anyways.
Do you think the Supply and Command roster should? I know it's not going to happen, but I got like Junior Sparrow.
Mm-hmm.
I thought like Junior Sparrow. I poke fun at him all the time because he's a good guy.
Yes.
But I thought that Peasy looked much more relaxed in the pocket with a better snapper getting
Yes,
the ball.
it is
so much easier than
a
normal.
good snapper completely changes the team.
So in that case, what does Peasy do? Does he try to finagle him to come join the team and maybe be the snapper here? Or what?
I was told, actually, funny enough, from Pease, that he was actually more uncomfortable with Junior Sparrow because they didn't have the same mentality when it came to the plays that Pease was expecting him to run. And so when he would expect him to like hitch or stop running, he would keep going, and that actually led to interceptions in the red zone. So
The Big Six as well.
Yeah, but that comes with chemistry and with time. So I don't think that's necessarily a big problem. It's
also the whole.
a symptom that can be solved very easily.
Yeah, the explanation part where you need to take the time before the game to talk to your snapper and tell him what you want out of him. Right, you want him to sit in the hole. You want him to keep going to the sideline. It's something that I have with a few snappers. Even when I started playing with Peas, it took us a few games to get on the same page. But when you have a snapper like Junior Sparrow, your team gets automatically better. There's no way in Division D you should look away from him.
What else caught your attention from this past week's action in Division D1?
Comeback season is back. Came back.
They're having a comeback
so to say.
season?
You having a comeback season? Nice play on words there, Simon.
They played really well this week.
Against the Bearmans, Texas Bearmans.
Yeah, they should be. It was a good game.
It was a close game.
Comeback season should be a strong team in Division D this season. I have high hopes for them. The same way they did last year with Division 4 and 5. I think this is another. They're bound for another successful
I think that
season.
Andel as a captain is finally starting to hit a rhythm with reliable guys who show up, and he's mixing it with the right talented guys, and he's seeing success season after season now.
Well, I think what's better for him is that if you recall, he used to have like a Big Mac trio of a roster,
Well,
and
he
now he's
also
going to
found
take kids meal of having the quality than the quantity of players.
Well, you also found the right quarterbacks for his teams. That's always been a problem with top season and Hurricane
Athletic,
season.
yes.
He hasn't found. He didn't have the right quarterback for the team before. He had temporary solutions. He had guys that he thought would work out, didn't necessarily. I think he has something good this season. Well, last winter and this season too. And he's able to build from that, and it shows.
What about, you look at Texas Bearmans,
Mm-hmm.
why are they a mess?
What do you mean? It was a close game.
No, but this overall, they've had talented guys come through,
Mm-hmm.
but they've always underachieved with this core group of guys. What is their issue and why they cannot be more successful than what they are?
I don't think it's necessarily the same things that Diablos do wrong, but it's the same sort of concept. Is that there's one thing that works for them, and when it works for them really well. But when that's not there, when playing physical, when that man defense that's so good and so aggressive starts to fall apart, it just spirals out of control really, really fast.
I think we had the whole. Well, Jalen Granderson was hurt last season.
He wasn't healthy.
Which, your team's basically built around them, so that doesn't help. What GM said is very true, right? They're very one-dimensional. So if you figure that out, they're screwed a little bit. They're the more athletic players, but they also play that way. Instead of keying on certain things and using their ability as a backup plan, they use their ability as a main option, and then they try to figure it out for the backup line, which it should be the other way around.
There's also been a fair bit of turnover in the last year or so for this team. The McElroy experiment in Division C, they had Kwesi and Khalil as well at one point.
It was an atomic bomb of an experiment.
Oh, it was bad. It was bad.
terrible.
They lost players because of that.
Like, if you look at their last season spring team, they had Kwesi, as you said before, Khalil, Kerr, and stuff. If they had an adequate quarterback, they probably would have been a legitimate playoff threat.
They had a very strong team, but yeah.
Brotherhood, they lose to Half Stars 33-20.
Alpha Stars, man.
Andrew Langbert,
Good team.
5 TDs, very good defense here. Jamal Giddens, a very pedestrian-like effort.
Listen, he's not going to have monster games every week. He's
Not
a
yet.
new quarterback. He's a very good athlete, but give him a chance. Quarterbacking is not the same as playing receiver. He's an animal out there, but as a quarterback, it's not the same game.
But I noticed they got very frustrated, Brotherhood.
Oh, for sure. But they're expecting to come out and ball out every week, and now they're facing these little hiccups, and they're not too sure why they're having hiccups because they should be better than this.
Yeah, the Brotherhood are not a franchise that are used to adversity. They've
won
pretty much since their existence have been at the top of whatever division they've been in.
Yeah.
So now that it's a different aspect, it's a little bit more of a struggle. I think the last time they've really had a struggle like this was when they lost their quarterback midway through the season, when they had Gianni Satino when he moved.
Right. Right. That was years ago.
Yeah, that's the last time the Brotherhood were bad, and they weren't even really bad. They had no consistency.
I think it's
Eagle's
just a
offering me
matter
water right now, and I lost my train of thought. And yes, I will have a water, please.
Consistency, yes.
Actually, yes, please.
They lost their consistency of being a good team.
Thank you.
I think
But-
it's a matter of time before Jamal Higgins as a quarterback finds what works for him.
I noticed there's a lot of drop balls in this game. Omar Jackson had a terrible drop.
Yeah, but Omar's very hot and cold, right?
Yeah, that's it. You just don't know what is. He's like Miami weather. It's sunny, but then it'll be raining for like 5-10 minutes. You just don't know what you can get with Omar Jackson. But look, this is not the Brotherhood team that we saw from winter season
It
with
is
the
not.
OJ, and they had plenty more weapons to
Yeah,
work
it
with
is not.
here. But in your mind, though, is Ryan Dobbs Garnett?
He's good, man.
He's good, but
He's good,
is
man.
he your number one go-to player though?
On this team, he has to be.
But
But
they
is
also
that
have
by
Omar.
default though that he has to be the number one go-to guy?
Well, I mean, this team by design needs that. It needs its top production to come out of Jamal, Omar, and Ryan because there's not as much depth as they had with Theo Ojea, with Kwesi Gordon-Mall, with Khalil Kerr in the lineup. So they need the most out of their workhorses right now.
I think they'll be fine if they find what works really well for them. I don't think they'll be able to key on to their superstars offensively the same way they used to. So defensively for sure.
Well, right now they're the leading receivers. Like they're
Yep.
the best 1-2 punch
Yeah.
in
But
Division
that's all
B.
they have, though, is a 1-2 punch. They
Yeah.
don't have an option 3 or 4.
I think it's just a matter of Jamal finding out what works for him and how to use all 5 receivers and not
Right.
just key on 2 guys. And it takes more than 30 snaps, 40 snaps. It's going to take him 100 snaps, 150 snaps. So by the end of the season, we're going to have a much different conversation than the one we're having.
Yeah,
right
we're going to
now.
be talking about Saad. We're going to be talking about Ahmed a little bit more. Jeremy Ronson, players who still have been on those Brotherhood teams as well and can emerge as threats, especially in this division.
For sure.
Anything else from Division D1 that caught your attention?
Yes.
What else?
So there's one thing. So we
Yes.
were there yesterday. We were there on Tuesday.
In Brossard,
Brossard.
yes.
Your friend Kevin St. Pierre.
Yes, yes, your buddy.
We all know Kevin St. Pierre loves to run his mouth a little bit. He was talking about how his defensive rating is low at 70.2. Wow, he's a much better player. Okay. He got torched by Kevin Marcel, and he looked bad. And Kevin Marcel's a 67.5.
By Voodoo.
So should Kevin St. Pierre's rating go lower than 67.5, considering he got torched by 67.5? Food for thought. Should we?
Yeah, I think so.
Should we instantly downgrade his rating because
Yeah.
he
I
has
can do it
holes?
right now.
We could do it right now.
If
Boom,
you can,
done.
please.
He's 66
I
now.
think Kevin St. Pierre will have like an all-star for the rest of his life. if he
No,
saw
I mean,
that.
if KSP thinks he's an 80 defensively, why don't we just put him an 80 defensively? Like, it's if you think you're of that caliber and will force the team to have to build around you with a defensive rating as high as good as you think you
So you're
are.
gonna punish him.
He's a poor man's Josh Norman with no talent. He's got the poor trash talking skills, but no coverage skills to
Oh,
play
listen,
to that
okay.
level.
So yeah, he had a bad game against a guy that's lowly. Kevin Marcel is
Yeah,
better than
but
67.
He
He's a very good receiver.
Kevin St. Pierre, the Voodoo game, Voodoo won 32-18 over Thunder Buddies, right? But you look at the fact that Frank K, who has no he has no tendons in his Achilles heel,
Yep.
like he's torn both Achilles heels.
Was
in a
playing
lot.
both ways.
Playing both ways. Okay, was able to torch Kevin St. Pierre, who is healthy, young, energetic, who's played
And
football.
apparently plays much better than his defensive rating.
Apparently so. And he let a quarterback.
Oh man, when that 40 bomb happened to Kevin Marcel, who made a ridiculous
Yeah.
catch on the sideline. By the way, that was not
Yes.
the easiest catch to make. I was on the sidelines, you, me, and Miles Keller, who wasn't on defense at that time, and he turned around and was like, "Yeah, so that's why he's a 60. He's not very good." That's a good time.
But it's a big win for Voodoo, though.
It was a huge win.
Huge win for them. I mean,
And a
Coming-
necessary one.
Coming
Yeah.
off a game where they scored 4 points somehow. Somehow.
Hey, Kevin, if you're listening, St. Pierre,
He's
your
not.
roster does have room for you to go up to 80. So if you want us to do it, holla.
but look, I look at Voodoo, man, and look, I'm not saying they're going to be a team that's going to run the table here in Div D2, but I mean they got pieces that are
Voodoo
tough, man.
as the right receivers. Patrick Saint-Amand is a very good receiver. He's too good for Division D. Kevin Marcel is very underrated. Etienne Vaillancourt is also a very good receiver. They have the right pieces for Frank K to be successful, but he's also a very hot and like hit or miss quarterback. And there's nights where he's gonna put up 4 points, and then there's nights where he's gonna put up 5 touchdowns, and he looks like he rejuvenated.
Oh no Achilles at all. Like he has no Achilles heels. That's the crazy part. Hot Boys Hotline winning over Sunday Touch Boys 18-13. I was there for that game, and our boy Tommy Gatehouse.
Both teams really struggled to put that game out of reach at the end, right? Like
Yes.
it was 14-12 for the longest time, or
It was like a tennis match that had no ending to it. It was going back and forth.
So
but
like
no one
cricket.
could break. No, cricket's a little bit different though. At least you have a
There's no
lead.
ending to cricket. It lasts like 6 days.
But look, I look at Tom Gatehouse and I look at this offense. They're gonna become predictable again. Like this is the same thing, same blueprint. Whereas I thought Sunday Touch Boys should have had to kill shots multiple times inside their red zone and couldn't do anything with the football in their hands.
well, it's predictable but experienced against more talented, but I guess a little bit more uncomfortable with the smaller facets of the game at that point, because like you said, like they did have the opportunity to close it out and would chuck it deep when underneath they were able to hit either the outs or the slants. A couple bad drops as well, or overthrows were the difference at the end of the game, as well as targeting the best defenders on Hot Boys Hotline, like rather than sort of taking a look and trying to find a weakness. They kept trying to hit Sean Haney and Tabari Yearbook.
Roster wise for Hot Boys Hotline, Eagle,
Who is not on Hot Boys Hotline.
no.
I'm
They
still in the
got cut.
Facebook group, though. So there may be roster changes coming up. That's all I'm going to say.
Which could have some earthquake proportions to the team's dynamic, right? Stay tuned.
Yes.
What other games caught your attention, gentlemen, from Div D2?
So, sorry, Div D 2. Well, Div D, we had Chris Millar play quarterback. That didn't go so well. Sorry, Chris. He was very hyped before the game. That didn't go so well. He didn't play poorly, but for the show, needs to figure out their quarterback situation.
I think it was just they were missing their starter for this week.
Adam Niamati.
Yeah.
Now, here's a question for you, gentlemen. Chris Millard, who's a very good rusher, future Hall of Famer in FPF.
Debatably top 3 rushers in FPF.
Most
currently.
dominant, changing the game here. How many sacks would Chris Millard, the rusher, have on Chris Millard, the quarterback,
In a game?
in a game?
8.
7. Yeah.
Really? You
Yes.
think?
I was about to say
Yes.
7.
If you had him facing off against himself,
Yes.
he would destroy himself
Oh yeah. It would be
as a
bad.
rusher.
Oh yeah, it would be bad. I was expecting 7. Jim said
Yeah.
8.
Eagle, what do you think?
He's played 126 games and has 139 sacks.
It's a lot of sacks.
He would sack himself.
He also played like 10 games as a corner in division with like a few springs ago. With Akeem Hoyt Charles and
Norfolk and Chance.
Yes,
yeah,
and I
Cristiano
see,
Ronaldo.
yes.
Yeah. There's and I don't think he plays rusher for his team also. Playing a rusher on 3 teams is pretty tough.
So it's wear
But
and tear.
if there's someone who physically can play rusher on 3 teams, and he did, he played in the winter. He played rusher on the Finest,
Yeah, but you saw a
on
decline, right?
their team in Div 2, You Can't Sit With Us, and on Top Sauce.
Yeah, but you saw a decline where he was like fatigued and like it's tough. You're running a lot.
minimum 14 yards per play.
A lot of sprints every single time, 3 times a week. It takes a toll.
Surprise team, I think, won 31-30 over Longhorns. I
A little
am.
bit.
I
little
am.
bit.
I was
Surprised
a
that they
weird
won, yes. Surprised that they won. Surprised that they won over Longhorns, yes. Surprised that they won, no, not really. They're a good team. They're about equally matched up with the Longhorns, so I saw this being like a game that would have drawn out a little bit. But as a whole, I think that Team Ethnic are going to be a lot better than we're going to give them credit for throughout the season.
That's fair. That's yeah.
Are they in your mind, gentlemen? Are they more of a? They're not upper tier.
Team at Nick.
Are they the next level below upper tier?
With Benoit Lawler, yes.
Team at Nick is a dark horse.
And he
team.
didn't play, by the way, this week.
They're gonna finish probably around like 4-6, 5-5, 6-4. A lot of teams are gonna take them lightly because who's Team at Nick and they don't have like those flashy players, but they're good, man. They make good plays. David DeAndre is becoming
Huge game for him.
He's being a very good defender. He made some very nice interceptions. Yeah, I think Team at Nick's better than people give them credit for, and it's just a matter of time before it kind of paces
Didn't
itself
have
together.
any interceptions?
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Well, then the scorekeeper is pretty bad.
No.
You were there. You saw it. I saw it. He had one on the convert, and
That
the
doesn't
other
count.
one. The other one was a deep ball. It was a deep shot at him, and he picked it off.
Well, I'll have to
So
correct that
somebody's making a mistake.
We'll have to correct that at the end of the day. Eagle, if you don't mind, please. Thank you.
Okay, I was like, yeah, fuck.
Thank
You remember it. You remember that play.
You
eh?
know, a lot of plays happened that day.
It's
All
the
right.
app. The app crashed. Not our fault.
It actually did crash. All right, let's talk about the teams in Division D1 that are 1-1 right now,
Yep.
gentlemen. You look at the group that we have at 500, the Brotherhood, Moss City, Super Saiyans, San GM, who's no longer on the team, the Sheriff, which I like, by the way, nice name there. For the show, S&E, Comeback Season, Green Hornets. Out of these group of teams here, who are the legitimate contenders that can now become above 500 and become a 6, 7, 8 win team?
Moss City.
I like Moss City too.
They had a big win, easy win for them.
I think they're a strong team. I still like Super Saiyans, although they lost Jim Collectors.
But they have Rich Humes as a replacement.
Yeah, which is
Comeback season as well.
yeah. Comeback season for the show. We talked about it a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
The Brotherhood, which we talked about too. If they could, with a little bit more time, they're gonna turn things around. They know what they're doing. There's a lot of good teams in there.
But is there a team that you worry about that? Okay, they're 1-1, fine, but they're not going to be like a 2-win, 3-win team that you might go on a losing skid and just fall into the dark
Green
hole.
Hornets.
With Ali Ando as quarterback.
Huh?
If you put him at receiver, he would tear up this division.
He played Division 1 with Taiwan Sat
Yeah.
years ago.
Former Carabin receiver as well,
Yeah,
or
that's right.
defender.
Receiver.
I think the Sheriff, if Louis Vigin gets hurt, that team is finished. Like the team is built around him, right? Like it's the Louis Vigin show.
And we saw that last spring where he had a team set to go, and then he got hurt early on, and
Yep.
that team just collapsed.
Yeah, if the team's built around him on both sides of the ball. If he goes down, that team's in.
At a list of teams we have here, which is I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 teams at 1-1. How many will be above 500 at the end of the year?
5.
4.
4.
We're just saying numbers.
No, I don't. I think it might not even be that high because these are the 1-1 teams. These aren't the 2-0 teams. The 2-0
No.
teams will continue to roll conceivably, and these teams might cannibalize each other and fall under 5-5.
Are we all in agreement though that Moss City will be the team that we believe if it put money on that could be playing for a final in August?
Of the teams that you listed.
Yes.
I would go with comeback season over Moss City. If I had to put money on
Really?
somebody, yeah.
Yes, Eagle.
We have another write-in. You want to guess who?
No.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
He wants to know:
Yes.
do you prefer roller coasters or zoos?
Well, tell Duke I prefer
We know Mo is going to say zoos.
The zoo.
Yeah.
Because
I love the zoo. Animals, man.
Okay.
I like roller coasters if I don't have to wait in line.
That's fair. I'm going to go with zoos. Just because.
because.
Just because.
Just because.
There you go, dude.
Thank you, Duke. Tradition unlike any other here with Duke.
He's going to Chinois?
Maybe, yeah. Or even you never know. Never with Duke. All right. What's better for Division D2 in terms of what we've seen so far in Conference A? We have 6 teams at 1-1. In Conference B, we have 5 teams at 2-0. What is better in terms of the Division D2 right now?
1-1. Like,
Yes.
Even though you have 5 teams at 2-0, though.
Is it better? Like, is it better for any team on that list of teams that are 1-1? No. Like, I'm sure everyone would much prefer to be 2-0. But for the division, where it's a crapshoot from week in to week out over who's going to win and who's going to lose, and it gives it a lot more parity, definitely 1-1.
I agree with Jim. I feel like Conference B, it's very top heavy, whereas Conference A, they're gonna cannibalize themselves. It's gonna be a great division to follow.
But we look at the teams that are 2-0 right now.
What do you want us to say, Mo?
But how rare? But you don't see it often.
You always say this when you want us to say something. We didn't say it. Like, but. Just say it, Mo. What do you think?
I just think right now, when you have 5 teams at 2-0,
Yes.
and you have perhaps the 5 best defenses on that
Okay.
side of the bracket here,
Okay.
I think there's more of a storyline to show that this is probably a better division of being superior towards what they have on the other side of the division bracket.
But
So if you split that conference in half, though, and you look at the bottom of Conference A against the bottom of Conference B.
Okay, Longhorns, Vic in the box, Blazing Confused, whatever. But I think Longhorns, Vic in the box.
Don't whatever blaze and confuse.
Yeah.
And at the same time, Vic in a box
Oh, so you're saying Browns?
not looking very strong right now.
But Browns and
unfortunately.
Boucherville is looking strong. The Browns and Boucherville is a terrible team.
Bro, well, listen.
You were there for the game.
I scored kept Browns and Boucherville this week.
I'll let Simon go first.
So there's a lot of things about this team. Their quarterback is actually pretty good.
Yeah, they switched their quarterback. They have,
Benjamin Reed is
Benjamin Reed
actually
now. Yeah,
pretty good. Let's be honest. Like
they're taking steps to get better.
yeah, he throws a very nice ball. Now there's a bit of confusion, and he's not,
15 points after 2 games.
he's not the most accurate quarterback there is, but there's a huge improvement from what I've seen last season. The team itself is not bad. They had a good rhythm in the second half, but they ran out of time. If that game would have lasted an hour and a half, maybe Browns and Boucherville would have won.
So playing 2 games essentially is what
Essentially,
you're saying.
yes.
And they would have won that game.
No, their first half was a disaster. They didn't know what they were doing. They were all over the place. It felt like they didn't warm up, and they were warming up on the field against a team that was already ready to go.
If we were to treat them as a new team and forget about what happened last winter, we would be saying, give them about 3-4 weeks and they're going to become a legitimate contender. They need to learn the game a little bit more and understand the facets of flag.
Hey, they also
So-
played against Tough Lungs, who's a good team. They have Justin Lerner made some sick plays just to get that
Yeah,
win.
he threw his body around catching the football.
Darren also played really well. It's not the discount Browns and Boucherville. I'm hopeful for the future.
Yes, Eagle.
We have more write-ins,
Oh,
not named Duke.
multiple write-ins.
Yes, indeed. They want to know: are you picking Golden State or Houston?
Golden State,
Come on.
get real.
Dub Nation, bro. Bay Area, brother. That's what we do. Okay, so Touched by Angeletti and Cheat Code, if you were to put them in the other side, where would you rank them with these 5 2-0 teams right
Touch
now?
Brangelani.
Are they the
2-0.
best out of the entire league, or are they somewhere in the middle of the pack of these 2-0 teams then?
I would say right now they're probably the best in the division, just because of the way how they play is going to be very successful in the lower divisions.
Yeah, I would put Touched by an Angeletti 1, Cheat Code 2, Conference B 3.
Yeah, it's fair. That's yeah. Well, we can make an argument cheat code could be 1, but yes.
I just think, look, I think the bottom half of Conference B is better than what we have for Conference A right now. And I think they'll make up the lost ground.
Okay.
The 0-2 teams.
We'll see in a few weeks.
Oh, you know I'll be right about this one.
You will not.
And the Longhorns are 0-9.
Remember that interception you forgot to mark down? Thank you.
Yeah, Eagle, take care of
Thank
that
you.
afterwards, though. I'm not worried about it. Eagle, please take care of that for me, please. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go. What now? What's going on?
And look at the receiver stats in Division 1, Div D1, Div D2 right now.
Okay.
Who was the best receiver in Division D1 right now?
You want to start, Jim?
Do you want to pick my own player or someone
Yes,
else?
'cause I'm picking him anyways.
Okay, so if you're picking him anyways, I'm gonna go with Isaiah Lard. Great burner speed. He can stretch the field. He can do it all. Solid hands. You can call him on any route, and he's gonna come down with the ball.
Yep.
Definitely one of the best and most talented receivers in D1.
I like Kenton Lowe. Very strong player. When he's on, he's unstoppable.
Red zone monster.
Yep, he's a big body receiver. He's good. He's very physical, very good. I also like Jeremy White, but it's based on the volume. I think he's a good receiver. Don't get me wrong, but it's also based on the fact that all Oaks rely like he gets a lot of targets, which makes his numbers a bit bigger than they should be. But that still doesn't take away the fact that he's almost unstoppable with Charlie Villaving as a quarterback.
Anyone else that will perhaps catch up to these guys, or these guys are runaways for
I think
being the legit
because of
king of the
volume, once
mountain?
again, you have guys like Alex David who might catch up to these guys number wise because he's also gonna get enough targets and enough catches to put up the numbers. Same goes with Steve Sanner from BD Bandits, who he's a phenomenal player, but they also have the volume to back themselves up. They play on teams where they will be fed more often than not,
Yeah.
for them to put up big numbers.
Look at Div D2. Max Burra has over 200 yards receiving.
Yep.
Would you take him over Manny Carnichon and Ricky DeRosier, who are number 2, number 3, same teammates? Would you take that one entity over these two guys? Or you think the 2 is better than 1?
Does the rest of Vic in a Box come with Max Burra?
Well, it's the team, right?
Then I honestly, like we were talking about like the powerhouse quarterbacks in Division E in Pat Saint Amand, in Vince Pisano. I don't understand how not Max Burra, Styles Trudeau was rated higher than these two and forced to move up a division.
Well, Styles Trudeau had a pretty sound
He had a
season
very
in
strong
winter
season,
year.
yes.
So I think that kind of
I think though that the
Jump
wheels
board
are
them.
falling off, and that like what worked so easily
I
for Vic in a Box
I
is
think Vic
starting to
sorry, Jim. I think
to fall apart.
I think Vic in the Box is missing that. You know, when you move up, you get more cap room, and you should be looking to
add more.
fill it. I think that's what they're missing. They're missing that one guy that would really help them out, like a second Max Burra, for instance.
not
Like
too
an
late.
Isaiah Lard.
No, it's definitely not too late.
Like an Isaiah Lard equivalent.
There you go. You got plenty of time. There's still 8 weeks to go. You could. I think that's what they need. They need like somebody else to go on the other side of the field, help balance things out, kind of compensate the fact that they moved up a division, and they need another guy.
Also, with Cardichon and DeRosier, you have two guys that you have to stop rather than just one that you focus on.
Also, Mendy Cardichon is a very good player. Like
He's played well the last couple of years.
He's in Division D. He's going to be a superstar.
In that case, so for GLC, could this be their best opportunity to perhaps win a championship, given what they have as an arsenal of weapons?
Keep in mind, they have been to the finals before.
They have,
exactly.
Yeah.
but
Their best opportunity to win was
Was-
when they were somehow a finalist when they finished like 4-6 or
they
3-7.
they had a run. But in terms of the
7 reminds you of someone.
Hey.
look, they're 2-0. They put up some pretty strong points so far, and it feels like they've really found.
This
is the right formula here.
Yeah, but they've been doing this for a while now. It's like it's not their first
But
season where
Jaime Luong has not been the quarterback. He's been the quarterback for the last 2 seasons.
yeah, in the last 2 seasons you've been saying the same thing. I think they're maybe the fact that Mandy's actually back full time, he's not going to miss half the season again, is going to help them. If they could keep these 2 receivers together as a 1-2 punch, maybe. I'm not buying just yet.
Their last 4 games with Donasay, LBB, which should be a win for them, Voodoo, and Hot Boys Hotline. So it's a tricky end to the season. They're 2-0 right now.
Gonna love to see the matchup with 69 rated Kevin Marshall.
LBB is another team that
67.
have sort of just never really found rhythm in FPF, unfortunately.
Well, I saw them play last night in Saint Laurent, and it's the same thing. It's the same conclusion. It's the same thing. They blowing out. They have athletes on the roster, but unfortunately, they just can't put it together to play a strong finish and a strong start and a better finish for them to win football games at the end of the day.
They're a good team. It feels like they don't really care when they play. It's just like it's odd, but they're very one dimensional. If that deep ball on the sideline works for them, then they're gonna go back at it over and over, and they're gonna put up 40 points, and then you're wondering where is this team every week? And the following week, when that one play is not there or they're out of sync, forget it. They can't do anything.
Look, Division D1 quarterback play right now, right? The top 10 quarterbacks in total have thrown 29 INTs. Only one player, I believe, has 10 plus touchdowns. Two, pardon me, have 10 plus touchdowns after 2 weeks here. We also get Division D, that level of football as being the leap of, hey, you're going to take that next step in your quarterback ascension here. What is the problem now, gentlemen? Why have we seen a high number of INTs in the top 10 passers of Division D1 this season?
I think it's a mix of a lot of things. I think it's a mix of a lot of new-ish quarterbacks. Guys are not necessarily been quarterbacks for a long time in FPF. So you get guys with a few seasons under their belt, but not necessarily like I've been playing quarterback for 1, 2, 3 seasons. Like it's still a new sort of thing for them. You're moving up divisions. You're facing new teams. It could be because they're facing better defenses overall. I think it's not just a matter of the quarterbacks themselves. I think all of these guys are going to be better by week 10 than they are at the moment. And there's good defenses in Division D. So let's not overlook the fact that it's all just quarterbacks making bad plays. It could also be defenses making trick plays and making it work.
Rust.
Also,
People are still rusty.
that's a fair point.
At this point in the season.
But we look at it right now, right? Fresco Martin, 4 INTs last game.
That's
Yeah,
but that's based on his play style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, based on that. Frank Delorier, he's off to a great start. No INTs, knock on wood for him.
Why you got to say that? Why you got to say that?
Well, he's going to throw an INT at some point.
Guess what
The
he's doing
law
next
of
week?
Averages.
INTs, baby. I like François Delorier this season. I liked him last season when he played quarterback with, what was you guys, right?
No, in co-ed with Party Mix.
No, but like the last time he played.
Last spring.
Yeah, you guys made the playoff like second round.
Yeah, Divi.
You guys play well. Like it was a good,
Yeah,
well-rounded build team.
and the team has moved up since then as well.
There you go. So I like considering that and the fact that he's as experienced with co-ed. There's a good chance he's gonna have a good season.
Yes, Eagle.
Yay or nay on the banana?
Yay.
On the banana?
Bandana.
Oh, on the bandana.
Oh, no,
I was
absolutely.
banana. I was like,
I thought you meant banana.
Am I
Yeah.
supposed to know inside joke?
It's Corda, his identity.
When you look at these guys here, is there the next great quarterback? Is it going to be Jamal Giddens? Is it going to be Enon Haber, who had a great winter season, off to a good start this year? Pete Del Rizzi is somehow somewhere in the top 10 for passing yards, but again,
He's always going to be up there for passing yards, but you know.
But is it Seal Levine? Is that the guy we're looking at as being the next great?
Seal
FPL?
Levine's very good, man. He's
He's
freaky good.
the next, like, he's the biggest natural quarterback, like someone who's very poised in the pocket, has great mechanics, has a solid deep ball. He's not done developing in FPF is I guess the best way to put it.
Also not done developing tackle. That also helps. I think there's I think he could be even better if he had better guys around him. Not knocking on all looks, they're very good
All
players.
looks are a pretty
But
good
if you
team.
take him and you put him on the Division B squad, he'll still be good. Because the way he plays will work with better receivers around him in a higher division. It might take a few weeks, but I think he's able to do it. Whereas there's a few guys on this list, if you put, let's say, François Delorier, and you put him as a quarterback for Man in Division B, he's going to fall apart.
I think you can pick up better examples than Frank.
No,
for
but I'm
that.
just saying, like, considering who, like, in the division, Charles-Olivier Lavigne's play style works across most divisions, whereas other quarterbacks not necessarily.
Well, I think the cutoff for elite quarterbacks is Mike O'Donnell. After Mike O'Donnell is a huge drop off,
You think
right?
Mike O'Donnell's an elite quarterback?
Well, I think he's
after
proven
last
his.
season's?
Well, I think last season was a fluke. I think he's better than what was
So
shown.
you're saying elite D quarterbacks,
yes,
right?
elite D quarterback. But I think there's a huge drop off, right? Dylan Daou, I'm not buying him.
Give him time.
Khalil Kerr, I think, could have a chance to maybe.
Khalil Kerr's going to be good if he keeps using his legs to his benefit.
But again, he can't use his legs all the time.
No,
though.
but you could move in the pocket a lot, often.
Yeah, he doesn't need to run to move his feet.
Yeah, you could beat the rusher at times. This is something that, let's say, myself cannot do most times. So it gives you an edge on certain downs. Don't use it too frequently. If you use it 5 or 10 times in a game, it could take a rusher or a defense altogether by surprise, and then you can make a big play out of not much.
But like Scott Maranovich, he's regressed. I mean, GM, you saw him way
Yes.
back in the day. He's not the same guy as he once was.
In Div 4 championship, Div 3 championship, Div 2 finals.
But
And
now he's not.
it's also the players around him, though, is that like way back when the Renegades and then Gold
Nixon
Standard
Renegades,
were
yeah.
stacked teams, and Fun Boys not as much.
I watch out for Jordan McInnes.
Jordan McInnes is great, but Jordan McInnes prefers to play receiver than
He's a
play
better
quarterback.
receiver. Is he a better receiver than quarterback in your mind?
Yes. He's a better receiver than quarterback.
But he's also a better quarterback than a lot of players on this list.
So that puts
Oh,
him
that's
by
awesome.
default in the quarterback position. Then would you not agree? Then,
Not if he doesn't want to play it.
but that hurts their team though for ice up.
That's their problem, though.
Well, their quarterback's also good.
Yeah, their quarterback is also good.
He had a bad
if-
game this week, but he's also good.
If I was to construct a Div D roster with players that are not my own, I guess, like he would definitely be on my short list of quarterbacks that I would want in Division D.
Right? Yes, Eagle.
The 10th rated quarterback in Division B says screw you, Simon.
That's fair.
We will read it.
And then also, Duke wants to know, would you rather be fear or loved? Not feared, fear itself.
Fear.
And also he wants to know what the worst team name in FPF is.
Well, I always say that it's whatever the variations of Two Girls One Cup. Like whenever you
10
name
guys,
your
1
team
cup.
after Two Girls One Cup, it's not original, it's not funny, it's not clever.
So to answer, okay, thank you. I'll answer Duke's random ass question with
Simon.
it's easy. I want you to fear how much you love me.
That's like a real song over here from Simon Dasher. Okay, fair enough then. It is now time for.
Week of the games.
Yes, that is correct.
So let's bring them up
GM
because
has
I
them
don't
up.
have them in front of me.
As he stalls by
Unless
time.
if you want me to, since I've always been the one reading them out, we could have Eagle read out some games.
Yeah, it's true,
'cause
Eagle.
I
You
never
can,
really get to predict them.
Let's do Ice Up versus Texas Bearmans in Div D1.
The Bearmans will be icing up. Give me ice up to win.
Can you Bearmans?
I don't think Bearmans will bounce back here. So give me ice up.
The Brotherhood versus All Hooks.
Ooh, give me all looks,
boy.
man.
This is a nightmare matchup for Brotherhood. I'm going all hooks.
Yeah, all hooks.
Who rushes for Brotherhood?
Is it Ryan? Ryan Dobbs?
Yeah, he's gonna get killed though. By
Yeah, but
Seal
should you switch up and put someone else?
I think you have to go with the cast of characters at that point.
Yeah,
You have to go with rotation. You have to go with Jamal Giddens at one point.
interesting.
Next.
And let's go with For the Show versus Diablos.
For the show.
Yeah, I agree.
Give me for sure. Whoever rushes is gonna have a field day with François Martin.
All right, and then in Division D2, let's go with Vic in a Box versus Longhorns.
Give me the box.
Yeah, I've said that Vic in a Box struggle, but one of the things that they do well, they will be able to capitalize against the Longhorns team, so they will be able to stretch the field. They will have those jump balls to go to often.
Eagle, you went to where? Austin, Texas.
Indeed.
Did you do a little hook 'em horns?
I did to one person, and they laughed at me.
Go with hook 'em horns.
All right, let's go with Team Ethnic versus Mutation.
Big win for Team Ethnic and a huge win for Mutation.
Huge win for Mutation. I'm going Mutation here.
I'm cautious, but I'm going to lean towards Mutation to win this game.
Give me Team Ethnic then, regardless of if Ben Lawler is there or not. But if Ben
They won
Lawler is there,
without
it makes
him.
it even it makes it even better.
Yeah. Next.
Let's go with Tough Lungs versus Wrecking Crew.
I'll go with the Lungs.
Yep. I like. They had a shaky few plays, but their defense is pretty sound.
Give me Wrecking Crew's defense to come out on top of this one.
Oh, wow.
That's fair.
Go with Wrecking Crew. Fair enough, then. That's it, Eagle. Thank you. Peace will be back next week.
You would say so, but we don't know.
We don't know what the Eagle.
We have no idea what's gonna happen next week. We could lose a container.
We could. We could lose the shipping container, no question. Magic words, please.
Hi, Peas.
Hey, peace.
Good night, Peas.
We're not going to banter?
No, well,
No,
it's
GM
a
told
bit
us we
weird.
can't banter
Please
anymore.
no.
It's a bit weird to 2-7. It's not the same without him. I think it's the same without peace.